I know, right? The intake's a little dirty. Or the charge pipe is. I'm going to show you guys a little bit about the Tier 1 race truck right now. It has a 6.7 Cummins in it with a 68 RFE that we're running as a standalone. Engine just has a S400 box charger on it, roughly about 950 horsepower or so. Just kind of learning and dialing this in. Bone stock engine, set of head studs, set of springs, not really much past that all honestly. A little bit bigger injectors, good CP3 turbo, or CP3. Transmission's just literally a stage 2 Tier 1 transmission, that's all it is. 4-wheel drive, the whole 9 yards past that. Basically what happened is at the track I ended up chucking another turbo on it, so just to make sure everything was good, we pulled the head on it. No damage or anything like that. No damage to the head. Gonna get it all slapped back together later today. Get it running, go out and make some more test practices Friday with it. Best times ran so far, only like 650s out of it, but still got to bring in lockup on the transmission and get some more tuning dialed in on it transmission wise. Engine's been running great, no issues there other than just the turbo. So you guys see here we have the head off of it. Just gonna make some more modifications from there to see what else we want to do and then go out and run it. So the goal with this truck ultimately is we have the race engine, basically a D&J engine that was built here in-house. Just got to go back through it and make some other modifications to the internals and then slap it all back together. Got another stage 3 head headed from D&J so we can get that together, and then once we basically get this setup dialed with the stage 2 68 and then basically the bone stock engine, try to see how fast we can get with that setup, then we're going to slap that bigger engine in. That should be roughly 1500 to 2000 horse, so we should be able to dip pretty far into the 5s with it and go from there. Basically just kind of, you can see here that not a whole lot to the truck itself other than what you see. Running on a 2100 ECM, running on the standalone computer for the 68 as well. Fiberglass doors, fiberglass front clip on it. Interior's pretty much gutted, just a single seat by itself. Fiberglass bed sides. Fuel cells all basically in the back of it. Have a breather ran from the engine to take care of that. Fast lift system on it for supply pressure to the CP3. Single coil leaf rear end with some QA1s for the suspension.
Travis at Tier 1. I'm currently checking the valve springs on our race truck head. Our turbo took a shit on us last weekend, or I'm sorry, the weekend before that at Streetcar Takeover. So we are going to take an extra preparatory step and make sure that the valve springs are all good. And if that's it, then we'll just replace the turbo and that should do it. Now we are actually just compressing them and making sure that the seats do not have any chunks missing out of them.
Or the valves or anything like that. Basically trying to find whatever material went through the turbo, where it came from. Because that didn't tell us anything. So you can go ahead and pull that one out. That one looks good.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, if you just push them all in, then you can just pull them right out. Yep. Then you just swap over to your next one. I'm surprised there's not any cracks in the cylinder head. Nope. Normally they're fucking cracked all over.
Remind me to show you the piece that came out of the stack.
Where is it?
It's over on the cart. It's a little piece of metal. Looks like a little BB.
Oh. And pressure and all that shit and flow. And obviously this doesn't have EGR anymore, so you're not going to get any more buildup. So you would have, or yeah, tear it apart, clean it all, scrub it, whatever. But see how your exhaust side's all clean, it's all burnt off. So it probably looked, when this thing was stock, probably looked every bit the same. And then as it got, when it got deleted and ran and whatever,
cleaned it all out.
Yep,
Cleaned all that soda out.
So that all looks good. You can go ahead and get rid of that one then. That's a little red Loctite on these big bolts. Oh, look fine there. Go ahead. razor blades over there.
Okay.
New ones. Use new ones because the problem is on those razor blades, like the edge folds over, you catch it and it'll put scratches on it. So we'll get new ones. What I normally do is run them flat, like 90 degrees, like this, instead of angling them. Just go back and forth and you scrape this off and it won't scratch anything.
Okay.
Because you want to leave this finish that's on here. You don't ever want to sand them down. They're very specific. You can see like the fly cutting, see these little marks here?
Yeah.
That's the surface you want.
Got you. So Nate.
Gotcha. So that way you can see.
Yeah, there's a word for that.
RA.
Is that what it
It's
is?
the RA finish. I don't know what it's-
Oh, I mean like the mating.
Yeah, and I think there is probably people a lot smarter than me, but
I forgot what it's called. It's like cousin mating or something.
yeah, they basically just want a certain finish on this. For an MLS gasket, it wants a certain finish on it. So as long as you can clean it up, and leave it as it is. If you need to, you can go in and use a little bit of Scotch-Brite real lightly.
Okay.
As long as you're not pulling material off and fucking up that finish that you see. Weather, no wrong. Oh, that's good too. I don't know where that came from, Travis. To be honest.
You wanna know if it works right, hit that. So it does pull that up. As long as the stud goes in and out of there smoothly and it doesn't feel like it's binding up, you can just check everyone real quick before you put the head on.
07/01/10. So July of 10, and it was a 2010 stock. It could have very well been. Oh, you got a hose in there.
Got my adapter.
All right. So where is your? What holes have you vacuumed? All of them?
All the front.
Okay. When you get done. Oh, cool. Hey, they go in that brown cabinet. Don't fucking put them out here because nobody will ever put them away. The problem is, if you leave that oil in there, and leave it in there for a second because it'll kind of drain down. You leave that oil in there, you'll hydraulic that in the bottom of the hole when you put your stud in, and when you go to torque it, it'll split the block.
Oh.
Well, it has to go somewhere.
Shit.
Has to go somewhere,
It
right?
wouldn't go through the thread.
By the time you start torquing it, it's so tight on the thread. You're torquing it that tight that it's not working.
Damn.
So it can crack the bottom of the hole, so you always want to suck them out. And then the other thing is, you suck it out, you clean it out with brake clean, you have a clean hole. So when you go and put your lube on it for the stud, you have a nice, even, smooth torque. And careful with your bucket down there. Alright, keep coming. Alright, hold what you got. Come down a little bit, come down easy. If you don't have a pair of pliers for that, don't do that with your hand. Get a pair of vice grips on there so you have an actual handle. Otherwise, you'll end up dropping it. Ready? Nice and easy. As slow as you can. There you go, just like that. I'll tell you when. Just leave it just like that speed. Hold.
Okay, I can take it off real quick. Okay.
Alright. Come on down. Nice and easy like that. That's fine, just like that. Hold. Come down some more. There we go.
just doing the last torque sequence on our head to 150 foot-pounds. Then we're gonna slap the turbo, intake, everything else, get it all buttoned up and ready to go for this weekend or Friday.
So we lost the turbo on this thing, pulled the head to go through all that. You saw some of that stuff. Went down to AGP and just grabbed a billet 80, so we're actually going up in size a little bit, which, judging by the little bit of smoke output we had, it needed a little more air, so it was kind of an easy choice because whatever went through here took out the turbine on the other charger. So we'll get that one fixed, but in the meantime, we're gonna run this one. Didn't ever find out where those two pieces of material came from. Not really concerned about it. Everything looks good. We'll just kind of hope that's a fluke and maybe it pushed everything out. But the easiest way to put these on is to actually take them apart and hang them piece by piece. If this will come off.
The pieces that were in there, were they metal?
Yeah, they were steel. They were magnetic, so.
So it wasn't a piece of cast.
There we go. So we'll take one of these. First, we're gonna reuse our gasket because I don't care and it should be fine. It's hung in there. We decided to just do a new housing on this. I looked in the other one to see if any of that material came from it. It looks fine, but we're gonna do this anyways to make sure everything's all right. So that is what it is. We'll get this thing hung in there. I'll get the drain on here, oil feed fitting, all that stuff. And then we should be ready to fire in probably 30 minutes or so. Should be able to get it going. So
I don't know where these came from. But they are metal. And that was the only thing that was in the housing.
Yeah.
Well, looking to see where that piece of metal might have fallen off from.
Oh,
You want to know? This is going to sound crazy. So they, I'm assuming, tried to weld this on the inside, but then figured fuck it and then did it on the outside?
yeah, but that's on the outlet.
Okay.
Right. And stainless. Grab your, you got a magnet over here?
Sure, there's one there.
Magnet. Stick it to that. Now stick it on your pieces of metal. Stainless is not magnetic, it's non-ferrous. And these are stainless as well, so. So this is the inlet side. Like this is where air comes from the engine, is here. That's where it first touches.
Okay.
So, something, it either sucked something in or something dumb.
Or it's side loaded. But there would be damage to the housing.
Dude, yeah, and that housing was fine inside. Alright, so issue being here, you can see where whatever those pieces are, where they came from, came through, because your turbine housing feeds right here first from air from the engine. So as it's spinning, see where it folded those over and chewed it up, which has a dramatic effect on how this charger actually works. And that's what tipped us off to actually having the problem. And these guys actually heard shit tinging around in the hood stack. So that's pretty much how that works. It's gonna need a new turbine and shaft, so it's all kind of one assembly. So we'll get it rebuilt, and I think I'm gonna set this on the shelf for my own shit here in the near future.
Didn't do any damage to anything else except this.
Right place moment.
What? Your truck?
What about it?
You getting it?
Oh, I ordered it.
You ordered it?
Yeah, I bought that new.
Okay.
I ordered it as a,
Straight off the freighter?
it's a platinum, but I ordered it with all the same options as a limited.
That's limited?
Yeah, because the limited, you don't get a, the interior option is like, and the platinum is the only way to get the all black interior. So I just added all the shit that a limited comes with to my platinum. There it is. Nice and free. And it'll, so you can clock it where you need it. That's just the oil drain in there, so. So the easiest way is do them one at a time. Probably should have put the rest of those nuts on. Little drains in, fine. I'm gonna have to get. I need status seals. I don't think this is. Fuck no. Then screws.
Enough space.
Yeah. We'll make a quick adjustment. Should have enough room there. Carter's gonna come and do a new charge pipe. We're gonna do an elbow off of that.
Who's coming to do a new charge pipe off this?
Carter. The guy does all my fab work. He'll show up this afternoon. We're gonna go to, since all these chargers have a V-band already, we're gonna stick with a V-band. We're gonna do the charge pipe with a V-band elbow on it instead of what we had. So if we do need to replace them, they're already. I would normally pre-lube this, but since the fuel system's been off, and we just bought this, they just put this together, there's assembly lube in it. By the time this thing gets fuel pressure in it and fires, there'll be plenty of oil in there. So, if not, you can always just hold it while it starts until you know you have oil pressure, which is only a couple seconds anyway.
Let it go.
And then let it go. And it's fine. Alright. A couple of things in, the injector harness in, the rail sensor in, and we'll start it like this and make sure everything's good before we button everything all the way up. But I gotta get a new washer.